Hey you guys, what is going on? I'm Matt, and here today we have a request that's been done by a couple of you guys, and a lot of you have commented on this and are wanting to know how I have my snare sound. As of late, once I changed up my heads and such, a lot of you have been commenting, that's such a great snare sound. How do you get that snare sound? It sounds so good. So here is that video happening right now. First off, to get my snare drum sound, you gotta start with the actual shell. This is not those are starting to annoy the living crap out of me. Sorry about that. But to first really get my snare drum sound, I'm gonna start with the actual shell. I have here a 14x5 walnut shell. If you want to really take a nice look at that, this is a 14x5 walnut shell that was custom made. If you did not know, actually, the man who made it is Matthew Middleton. He lives here in town. He's been drum building for quite some time. I've known him for probably 8 or 10 years now, maybe 8. Matt, if you are watching this, thank you again for making this. This is still the best snare drum I've ever played, the best snare drum I've ever owned, and the most gorgeous snare drum I've ever seen. But beyond that, the hardware, it's just hardware, but it's gold, so it makes it more flashy, but it's not really, that doesn't alter the sound in any way. So now that we know that we have walnut shells, which I believe is a 6-ply with 45 degree bearing edges, you now have to look at my snare strand. They're pierced on brass that I cut down to 8 strands. Now you're probably going, only 8 strands? Mine has 20 or 24 or 40. I cut this thing down, and I now prefer on drums like this the less amount of snares, as then you get more body and more tone. And then but then you do have to loosen these some more to get a pretty good snare sound. But yeah, I am now down to 8 strands. So that's one thing I bet you guys did not consider at all. And then while we're on this side, let's talk about the snare side head. This is actually a head that a lot of you probably haven't heard of, or probably would not even consider using. This is an Evans Hazy 500. This is actually a really thick snare side head, which not only does the thicker head, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, has less overtones. It also technically rings less, and it does kind of chirp down some the chirp down the snare rattle. But I have this thing pretty cranked, so they kind of balance each other out, and I get a nice crisp just snare sound. Well, here. That's how it sounds with just my iPhone. Now the top head, the batter side, you're probably looking at this like, what the heck is that? That looks like something from the 1930s. Well, this is a head that emulates that 1930s sound. This is the Remo Fiberskin 3 Ambassador head, and this head is to emulate calfskin, and it does a pretty good job, I think. But the one characteristic that I really like about this, it's such a thick, well, it's not, how do I put this? It's not that thick of a head, but the physical skinning coating that's on here really dries out the sound and really takes out those nasty overtones that you might not want, especially when tuned higher. This really takes out those overtones. I was just using this drum a couple days back on in a concert band setting, and with this tuning here, you're gonna be amazed at this. It sounds fantastic as a drum set snare for many applications such as jazz, rock, fusion. It works for a lot of different genres, but it also works really nice as a concert snare without retuning it. Just using a different type of a stick and playing style, the sound really changes. Here, like me. Yeah, is that going? Yes. Okay. So here it is with your basic like rock sound per se. Okay, a drum set sticks, a drum set groove, but now let's change it up a bit. Here are some rosewood concert sticks by Cooperman. These here are the Keith Carlock Sigs by Vic-Firth, but here are some rosewood Coopermans, which these are cheap, and these are concert snares. Well, concert snare sticks. So let's now hear these and play like I would a concert drum. It still sounds good. Like, this is a fantastic drum. Now you're probably talking about tuning. We're getting to hold your drum keys. We are getting there right now. So a tuning. This bottom head is tuned really high. And again, playing through the mic, here's how the bottom head sounds. Really choked and really high. I mean, if you can't see that, I am pushing, and it's not giving at all. This is about the maximum tension that you should put on a snare side head. Now for the top head, the batter side, it's pretty well tight. I mean, I can still press it down some. It's not as tight as the bottom. I would say this is maybe a medium to medium high. So that's really my snare drum sound. This is a very unique drum that if you want this type of a sound, you could probably get away with maybe a maple shell, maybe a birch, a wood shell, but you're gonna really have to get these. But you're gonna have to get these heads, and it still may not sound quite like this. The walnut wood has a very interesting sound characteristic that's just gorgeous. I forget. I used to know the actual characteristic. That doesn't help me one bit, but. That is it, guys, for my snare drum sound. I hope you guys enjoyed this. like it, comment more about this. I would love to talk to you guys in depth more about snare drums or drums in general. And if there's anything else, on my kit that you guys want to see, just let me know and I will show you it exactly. So until next time, take care and keep on drumming.